Hi guys, welcome to my channel. As a girl who's been unemployed for several years, applied to countless job posts, hired professionals to do my resume with no lack of employment. Trust me, I know the insecurities of being unemployed and broke feels and looks like, and the negative effects it has on your personal growth as an individual. So in today's video, I'm here to help you out break that imposter syndrome by giving you science courses and also the easy actionable steps that you're going to follow and use the imposter syndrome as your trail to the top. Because I know the stress, the baggage that comes with being unemployed, and don't be stingy with information. Please do make sure that you share this video with somebody that you know might need this. It might be your cousin, it might be your friend, it might be a neighbor, whoever. Please do make sure that you share. It's life-changing, and watch until the end. I won't waste any more of your time. By the way, if you don't know who I am Blondie, and let's just jump right into it. Sign number one of imposter syndrome related to being unemployed. You fear dressing up or putting your best foot forward because you feel like people are going to find out that you are unemployed. Your imposter syndrome tells you that you are faking it. It's almost like you are putting up a front as if like you have life figured out, you have things figured out. That's how you feel. If you feel like that is a sign of an imposter syndrome related to being unemployed. And I'll tell you the causes on the next chapter of this video. Why you feel guilty if you want just looking good, you done your hair, you done your makeup, or you put some nice cute outfits, but you feel guilty. You feel like people are going to find out. You don't feel confident, you don't feel happy. Instead, you feel anxious and afraid and guilty. That is a sign of imposter syndrome. When you fear looking good, when you fear living life, going to parties, not like excessive partying or drinking, but enjoyment once in a while. I'm going to events, you fear living life because it's like you're putting up a front as if like you are moneyed. That's how imposter syndrome works, and that is the first sign of imposter syndrome. When you fear putting your best foot forward, when you are very much comfortable and you feel at ease, not guilty, when you're just wearing your normal day-to-day clothes or your PJs, you're just cool, you're just fine. But when you have to put your best foot forward, do your hair, do your nails, do your makeup, you feel guilty for doing all of those stuff. That is a sign of imposter syndrome. And I'll tell you the causes on the second chapter. Why is it? And on the third chapter, I'll share with you how are you going to break through that. Sign number two, you feel guilty when somebody is spending their money on you, when you're being spoiled, when they're doing nice things for you, you feel guilty for all of those things. Like you start to question like, why are they doing all of these things? Like, I'm broke, I'm unemployed, and you don't feel deserving of all of those good things just because you are unemployed. That is imposter syndrome, baby. And it goes above and beyond. Even in the home situation, you might be fearing to just make your own food. You fear taking up space around your home. You feel this need to be always right and correct, you understand, because you don't feel comfortable. Even if it's where you grew up, your parents are supporting you throughout, buying you food and clothes and all those things. You feel guilty. You feel like you have to be in a small little cocoon just because you are unemployed. Just because somebody is providing for you, you are not providing it for yourself. And I'll tell you the causes of this on the second chapter. Imposter syndrome is very much dangerous. You just feel like somebody's wasting their money on you. Why are they doing it? You don't feel worthy, you don't feel deserving. Even if you're being spoiled by your parents, there's still this inner thingy inside of you. Why are they doing it for me? No, it's not necessary. They should live it. You understand? You always want to sideline your own needs, your own privileges, you understand? Because of imposter syndrome, because you don't feel like you are worthy and deserving as you are without getting employed. Let's go to sign number three. You fear going after opportunities because you now identify with your past failures and shortcomings. Instead of seeing the privilege in your shortcomings, the privilege in your failures and rejection, you make them your roadblocks to growing even much more wiser, much more stronger, and even going after opportunities. Now those things, they become your roadblocks, because now your imposter syndrome will tell you, with honey, the last time you applied to the job, you were rejected. They never answered back. So what makes you think this time around it will be different? That's how the imposter syndrome works. You always identify with the old version of you. And what happened with me, imposter syndrome, being bumping or washing at that time, I felt like the second time I did my learners, I failed. So I was still fearful to do my learners because I was thinking like, honey, honey, what makes you think this time around it will be different? But as soon as I started working on myself, of which I will be giving you those solutions on the last chapter of the video, it felt much more different. I saw the privilege in my failures. I saw the privilege in my misfortunes. I saw the privilege in all of the rejections that I've received in the past. So please to make sure that you stay until the end, because imposter syndrome is about to become your trail to the top. And let's go to number 4. You feel like there is always another step. You never take time to appreciate the efforts that you put in and day out. I'm making an example. Maybe for the longest time, you lost heart and just felt like things were not working out for you, and you stopped applying, you stopped grinding. And what happened is now you're more like rebooting yourself. You are pressing the reset button now, and you are telling yourself, Gucci, I'm starting again, I'm starting afresh to apply to job posts, redo my CVs, contact people who can help me with my CVs, learn new skills, so it can be much more easier for me to get hired. Instead of you realizing the efforts that you are putting in, you fixate on things that you don't have. Like they haven't called you for an interview, or they won't call you for an interview. That's the imposter syndrome. And the thing is that this thing is a continuous process. Unless you start to realize, Guti, you are worthy and deserving of anything that you want, and you don't need anything. You don't need no money, you don't need no job, you don't need no fancy outfits or fashion. You don't need none of those things. You are just worthy as you are. And that's it. Then your life is going to start changing, because the thing is that when you are always fixating on the next step, on the next step, on the next step, it's a continuous process, and the negative effects, you become a chaser. Whilst it might not be wrong, certainly you have to attract. I believe in attraction rather than chasing, whilst putting in the work. But certainly it will come to you when it's meant to be yours. So I'll be giving you solutions again on the last chapter. Please do make sure that you stay tuned. Let's go to the last one, number 5. You attach your worth to getting job. Actually, in this stage, you don't see any beauty, you don't see any abundance that life and the universe has to offer or give to you, because you are fixating on getting that one job, because of you're just fixating on getting that salary, that paycheck. Basically, you don't see no good in your life, in your situation, with people around you. All of those good things and opportunities that are missing you, because your mind is now fixating on just one thing, getting a job. Let's go to chapter 2, causes of imposter syndrome related to being unemployed. You grew up having to earn love and attention, of which is why you start to attach your worth to finding work. You grew up believing that in order for you to receive love and attention and respect and all of those things from your parents, from your family members, you had to do something. You had to be a good girl, basically. You have to be always right and correct. So you were given love, you were given attention. Other side of that, you were not. And that's what you grew up believing. You think you have to do something, achieve something in order for you to be worthy of love, attention, respect, and all the good things. And the truth is that you don't have to be any of that. You don't have to earn anything. You don't have to be anything in order for you to be worthy of love and respect and support and all of those good things. The only thing that you have to be is just to be yourself. Nothing else outside of that. That's just the true side of it. You have to just exist. You just have to be yourself to be worthy of love, affection, and all of the good things. But you were trained, you grew up thinking, Wuti, you have to do certain things in order to be worthy of love, in order to be worthy of attention. And the truth is that you have to just exist. You just have to be yourself. You just have to live life. You just have to be you without having to explain yourself to anybody. And that's it. You just have to be yourself. And that is the beauty of life, when you live according to your own terms, when you live your true self, not trying to mold yourself to be digestible for a certain group of people, or your parents, for heaven's sake, or your friends. When you embrace all of you, and even the parts that people may dislike or regard as embarrassing, you love them. Let's go to the next. You identify as the employed version of yourself, as the already made it in life version of yourself. That's how you identify, of which is why you start to feel like you are pretending. When you are putting your best foot forward, when you're looking good, it just feels like you are faking it. It just feels like you are pretending to be something that you are not, or you identify yourself as a version of yourself who already have the stuff that you want. Your mind doesn't know that you are not working. Your mind doesn't know that you don't have money. Is that a disgrace that you are unemployed? You are still living with your parents at your old age? It's not a disgrace, but it becomes a disgrace because your mind is so used to the version of yourself who already have everything, who is independent, who doesn't need help. Your mind is used to that version of you. The mind cannot tell the real or the imagined experience. So in this stage, I really urge you to stop living in your mind and start living in the reality. See your life for what it is and start questioning yourself. How can I make myself healthy? How can I change certain things? There are certain things, of course, that we don't love or like about our lives that we cannot wake up and decide to change, of which that is fine, but there's always a different alternative to do. You might not love your room, do some deep cleaning, you understand, or stop identifying with the version of you who already have everything, because your mind knows you to be independent, and when it comes into reality it feels like you are faking it. Hence why you start to fear dressing up, hence why you start to fear putting your best foot forward, because it's like you are faking it. This is not the real you. The real you is unemployed, and the truth is that you are not faking it, but your mind is so used to the version of you who already works, who already wakes up and goes to work, or who is independent, who is the boss lady. So really disconnect from your brain and start to live in the world and start to bring yourself into the reality. Period. Let's go to the next. The next sign, it's actually perfectionism. Let me make an example so you get what I'm trying to say. You can be going to a gym. You've made a plan, like I'm going to go to the gym 4 times a week, 4 days a week. That's what I mean basically. And the thing is that you fell off on the third. Now you are not going to see yourself or see your efforts for all of the times that you've been going through. You've been going to the gym, but now you're going to identify with your relapse. With the very first day you start to like, yo, I'm lazy, I don't want to go to the gym. You're going to feel bad for it and start beating yourself up for it and start to identify yourself as the person who doesn't do things, of which you fail to see the good that you've been doing. It's just that you are a perfectionism. One mistake, it feels like the whole thing is dirty, the whole thing is just terrible. Of what helps me on the stage is to take every failure or rejection as a redirection, so I don't identify as I'm not doing anything. Previously, one thing I used to do about myself, and that was so wrong of me, I used to just plan things, do things, and the moment I start falling off the schedules or the routines or whatever it is that I've planned for myself to achieve, I'll feel like a failure, because now I'm failing to see all of the efforts I've been putting throughout this time, and now I'm starting to identify myself as my shortcomings, and that is completely wrong. You are enough as you are. And I've read a wonderful quote that just touched my heart. I won't express it as it was written, but it says, in order for you to know your worth, stop giving away calculator to people to calculate your worth. And this truly came to my heart because that was me. Yes, I grew up with this perfectionism mindset, you understand. I might be going through certain stuff and I'm not showing up to my highest capabilities, and I will feel worthless. I don't feel like I'm deserving of anything good, because of each time I make a mistake, now I just feel like I just felt trash about myself. Even if a person may come and speak to me however they want to, I've just felt okay because I felt like I deserve it. And now, honey, I'm no longer doing that. No, and I continue still even today to reaffirm to myself, no matter what I do, where I am, who I'm with, what I'm dressing, how I look like, I'm worthy, I'm deserving. Phelele lapho. I truly inspire and encourage you all to start to really start giving away calculators for people to calculate your worth. That's another thing. Stop giving people calculator to calculate your worth. Tell yourself, I'm worthy, I'm enough, I'm deserving of whatever it is that I want. Whether I make mistakes, whether failing dismally, I'm still deserving and worthy of whatever it is that I want. And for a different person to come and tell me what I'm already telling myself, that is the bonus. That's how you have to treat yourself, and stop waiting on people to tell you what you are worthy, you are deserving. Today you look good, oh, you're worthy, you're deserving of special treatment. And today you don't feel like putting your best foot forward, you're also fine, you're also perfect. But now, for the mere fact that you are giving away calculator for people to tell you sometimes you are not enough, sometimes you don't look good, you don't have lashes on, you don't have makeup on, so you might as well just sit to the side. And you teach people how to treat you, that's another thing. So start to see your worth at this point in time, and know that there is no perfect human being, there is only God who's perfect. And stop setting those unrealistic standards that you cannot reach to yourself because you are a perfectionist. Let's go to the next one. That was a little bit longer, but it's fine. Solutions. Number one, I need you to stop identifying as the version of yourself who's already employed, who's already moneyed, who's already independent, and start to see your life for what it is and not what you think it should be. Start to bring yourself into a reality and see yourself for what it is, and stop living so much in your mind, because that's what makes you feel like you are an imposter. You are faking it, you are pretending, because your mind doesn't know the truth and the reality. 8 out of 10 times it's because you are thinking that you are employed. It's a beautiful manifestation, but now you have to bring yourself to life in order to manifest whatever it is that you want, and stop living in your mind or live through other people. And so in today's video, I inspire you guys to just see yourself or see your life for what it is, and start making changes instead of imagining how it should be. Let's go to number 2. Intentional celebration. This point truly related to the signs of imposter syndrome, when I told you that there's always another step. You never see the beauty that you are creating. And the thing is that about self-image, that's another thing. I saw another picture. This Okay, on this image, this woman was a plus size, and she started going to the gym, eating good, cutting all the drinking, and her body changed to something so good, so beautiful. All of the gym benefits she was starting to experience now, but her mind hadn't caught up to this new version of herself. She still had the old version of herself who was a plus size. And the problem about self-image, if you don't deal with it at this point in time, it's a never-ending cycle. It's a never-ending cycle. So in this step, I want you to start to do this thing called intentional celebration. Whether you do something big or small, achieve something, or after a long week of you not putting your efforts into your looks, when you do put an effort to your look, just hype yourself and into seeing the beauty that you are creating instead of fixating on what you don't have. You understand? Intentional celebration will truly save your life. I need you to be very intentional. Even if you wake up early, just pat yourself on the shoulder. Make yourself, tell yourself, I'm really proud of you, girl. Pause everything and just appreciate yourself. It's not easy, it's not an easy thing, but it does get better. And the thing is that about change, you have to persist even if it doesn't feel like it. There were so many times I told myself, you look beautiful, felt like it. Some days it didn't feel like it, but I still pursued and did it. And I urge you to do the same. Even though it feels good, even though it feels right, even though it doesn't feel like it, you have to continue to do it, and then it will flow naturally the more you start practicing it. I need you to be very intentional with your time, with you celebrating yourself, with you hyping yourself, with you loving yourself. And it will truly save you from self-image issues, because now you will realize that I'm identifying with this version of myself, the confident version of myself, not with the old version of myself. Let's go to the next one. I urge you to ask for help when you need help, and ask for help even when you don't need help. This has truly saved my life, because for the longest time I just grew up believing that I have to hustle, I have to work for hard for everything that I want, of which that is true. I've always been that child, but certainly it's ended up destroying me, because I thought to myself I had no support, I had nobody who loved me. I just felt like I was alone in this life thing. I didn't have a shoulder to cry, I didn't have somebody to go to when I need maybe money or help with certain things. I just felt like I had to always figure things out for myself. So the moment I started, maybe I know I have feet, I can go to the store by myself, but call somebody who's going to the store, or call somebody to just please help me and buy me one, two, three. And this thing reinforced this thing into my mind that there's always support, there's always love. Sometimes I may not see it, sometimes it may not come from family, but even from strangers. I used to be such a person, I used to be hardcore because I just felt like I had to do stuff on my own. And the moment I started allowing help, I started asking for help when I needed it. It just used to reinforce this thing that there's an abundance of love, there is support, there is connection. People love me, people want to support me, people want to help. My battery has died, so I lost my train of thought. But let's go to the last one. Surely I can never create a video without telling you about God. And also getting closer to God, guys. The last sign, getting closer to God, it will truly help you to align your path with what God has for you. You understand that? Because sometimes we are really chasing on things that are not meant for us. You understand that we are really chasing goals, and because we really think, oh, this is what God wants for us, or because this thing has worked for my friend and surely it has to work for me, and certainly God has something for you differently. And for in this stage, I really urge you to go and watch on this video. I will also link it down below. It's a life-changing video, getting closer to God. I urge you to go watch it and do leave a comment down below. So I think I've said a handful, guys. Thank you so much for staying till this far. I truly appreciate your love and your support. And please do leave a comment down below, guys. I would really love to hear from you. What was your favorite point? I hope over to this video has helped somebody. And from me, Umatala Omhle, love, not like, because the like and check. And please do make sure that you like this video and you are subscribed. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye bye.